Here I am. LinkedIn, you're not supposed to approve for LinkedIn. Okay, fine. I'm just reading all the little notices. Okay. Well, we just have to remove LinkedIn for now because for whatever reason, LinkedIn isn't seem to be coming on board. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm here. It's Dr. Wendy Walsh. Let's see who's coming on board. So this is my first time doing a live, streaming. And I'm just figuring out the text. So thank you very much. I have two cameras. So this is Instagram. What I'd like you to do is, why don't you tell me what city you're in? Just post what city you're in and put on my glasses. Okay, here are my glasses, my big Miss Magoo glasses, so that I can actually see what's happening. From Colombia. Oh, hi from Colombia. And want to see how I see the comments over here. Can't post comments to some destination. Learn how. I'm going to have to learn more about StreamYard. StreamYard is the service that I'm using to stream on everything else but Instagram. And there we go. There's somebody from Facebook who's watching through StreamYard. So tell me where you are, what city, what country you are in the world, and tell me what you're feeling right now. And in case you need a little education about names for feelings, you might be feeling bored, you might be feeling joyful, you might be feeling a little nervous, you might have some anxiety, you might be feeling sad, you might be feeling gratitude, maybe you're feeling close to your family. So feel free to tell me where, and just tell me what you're feeling right now, because this is just a big feeling check-in. You know, the word feeling is my favorite F word, as I like to say. I want to actually tell you a little bit about what I've been going through during quarantine. Like so many people at the really beginning, in the first few days, I literally thought it was kind of funny and kind of fun. I mean, not the tragedy in the news, of course, but this idea of driving on streets with no people, or, just seeing, I went to New York just before quarantine, actually, and I was at JFK Airport, and there was nobody there. It was eerie, but also pleasant, because you're not used to having the world to yourself. And then the reality set in. My daughter's schools were closed. My one in Boston came home. And then I realized how very serious this is. And like so many of you, I'm a human being too. I mean, I have psychological knowledge. I also have a tremendous amount of insight that I'm blessed with, which means that I'm able to, just sort of watch my emotions as they're happening. I'm like, have my own observing eye. And I watched myself sink into depression. And for me, it was lethargy. I started off like getting up early and running in the morning. And then I started watching the news a little too much, and I lost my energy. I found myself even walking slower around the house. Like it was really, really weird. And then my body started really speaking for me, and nausea kicked in. And I'm not joking, for 4 days, even though I was cooking like gourmet meals for my kids every night, that was my big to-do of the day, is to plan that fabulous dinner. But I started this low-grade nausea. And it reminded me of when I was pregnant and I had morning sickness. And I would, when you're coming out of sleep in the morning, there's that little moment where you're kind of awake but not in tune with your body yet, and you don't feel sick. And then all of a sudden you're connected with your body and you feel nauseous. It was just like that. And then I'd feel nauseous all day, and I'd find myself wanting to just get back to that bed, because when I was asleep, am I getting sick? And then I realized it was actually my anxiety, that it went into my body. And I kind of hit what I would say is an all-time low, which is I woke up 2 mornings ago just going, okay, you're the professional. You're the mother. You're the strong one. You've got to get a grip, and you've got to come up with some treatments for yourself that you can share with others. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to treat you to some, but I want to read some of the comments too. Working out really does help. I also want everybody to give me all your suggestions for things that have helped you with anxiety and depression. And you have to remember that anxiety and depression aren't character flaws, all right? Some people just have a gene for it, and they don't know what triggers that gene, what the events are in their life. Everybody's different, right? And so even though there's that saying out there that says, what is that saying, that adversity doesn't create character, it reveals it? I don't buy that at all. All adversity does is shows us our coping strategies, and we all have different coping strategies to stress. Someone else has been feeling nausea. I know, it's the weirdest thing. It was really low grade. Oh, and somebody mentioned journaling, and I want to say, so let's get into some of the things that really have worked. I'll tell you what worked for me. I'll tell you what didn't work right away. I tried Zooming with friends and family. And I'm actually reading a book that one of my listeners on KFI AM 640 suggested called The Social Animal. And you really do not get, and there's another one called The Village Effect, you don't get the same neurohormones from just looking at a screen as you would when you actually see people. Because when you see somebody face to face, you're picking up so much information. It's body language, it's vocal tone, it's pheromones even, you're smelling the person, but it's so much different than looking at them two-dimensionally on a screen. So I found all the Zooming with friends for me didn't work so much. Tequila didn't work so much. It made me feel more nauseous. And that's usually my go-to, my remedy. Watching television to try to like find out more information made it worse for sure. So here's what I did. The morning that I woke up and said, okay, this is your rock bottom, you got to fix this. There were a couple potential work people who reached out to me, and I jumped all over one. There's a new app you guys can download it called Local Now that I'll be providing content for every day. So I had to get it together. I had to take a shower, do my hair and makeup, get it in front of it. And for me, that was really helpful, right? I'm an extrovert. I need to be performing. So I made a whole bunch of videos for them yesterday. So working helped. I also went on the iHeartRadio app, and I found a happy music playlist. I think it's called Happy Music for Happy People or something. And my kids didn't like my music, by the way. So I had to put a headset in. And I found myself dancing a lot. And dancing really, really, really helps. So dancing around the house like an idiot helps. Yesterday I did something, so I have a lot of anxiety about going out, as I'm sure a lot of you do. Even when I was going on my walks or my jogs, I was wearing a mask, and then I was getting dizzy because I couldn't breathe. And then I was worried about every jogger who was jogging ahead and breathing hard and putting germs into the air, and it was just raising my anxiety. So I spent a couple days where I did not go out at all. And then I said to my daughter yesterday, my 16-year-old, we need a field trip. So we donned gloves and our masks, and we found a drive-through Starbucks. We have not had Starbucks for a month, and you should know, Starbucks is my happy place. My drug of choice is caffeine. And so we went through the drive-through Starbucks. I felt good that everybody working there was wearing masks and gloves, and they give you a straw that's in paper, so you unwrap it, and so your mouth isn't touching anything that anybody touched, etc. And it just to taste my cold brew with a splash of heavy cream and have my sous vide egg bites with bacon. I'm low carb, I'm keto, so I'm not having any sweet stuff there. But that really shifted everything for me. Sigmund Freud said that we have a bunch of defenses against psychic pain, bad ones, right? Repression, regression, denial, all that stuff, right? But he said there's really one good one, actually two. One is humor, and I have been watching a lot of comedy at night. It's been nice. The other is sublimation, where we take what we're feeling and we help others who may be feeling the same way. So I reached out, as you know, that my favorite charity is the St. Joseph Center. They are one of Los Angeles's largest homeless service provider, and they've been working harder than anybody. I don't know if you've read the articles that coronavirus is impacting, obviously, lower economic status, working poor people more than anybody. And racially, it's impacting Black and Brown communities, let's be honest. And so these are the people that are served by the St. Joseph Center. Hi to everybody. Thank you so much. I'm seeing all the comments now. And thank you. It's so nice to see people live. Usually when I do my radio show on Sundays from 4 to 6, for those of you who are listeners, I do check social media on every commercial break. I'm zooming in to see, because sometimes I say the wrong thing, and sometimes I offend somebody, or I need to clarify, or I literally am mistaken and I need to be corrected. So I like it when people pipe in. It feels like more of a community for me. But it's great to see you all here and your thanks. Remember, tell me what city you're in, because I'm seeing people from different places. I know that a lot of people have started to listen to me on the iHeartRadio app, both my podcast, Mating Matters, as well as, my show, my Dr. Wendy Walsh show on KFI AM 640. It's also everywhere in the iHeartRadio app. So what was I saying about the St. Joseph Center? So I contacted today the CEO of the St. Joseph Center and talked to her about some resources and ideas I had, and that felt good. Also, I want to go over, I Googled like things that we can do virtually to make a difference, because if we're helping others, if we feel we're doing something in this war, it can make us feel better. So some ways to give back virtually. First of all, check on your neighbors, everybody. If you don't have their phone number that you can text them, leave a note on their door. We have an elderly lady living across the street over there who I hear coughing a lot, like she has a lung condition and should not be out at all. And she had her window open one day, so I simply stood out on the sidewalk and called to her and said, can I have your phone number? Anytime one of my daughters goes to the grocery store, we'd be happy to pick up stuff for you. So, leave a note, call out, whatever, get to know your neighbors. So then you don't feel so alone. I mean, we had a balcony dinner party one night with my neighbors on that side. They're one floor up and the balcony over there. And we texted each other that we were going to meet at 6:30 for dinner. We each brought our respective dinners and kind of yelled across the balcony to each other. And that felt so good. Hi, hello, Orange County. Oh, Maryland. Wow. Edmonds, Washington. Wow, you guys are listening from everywhere, and more San Diego. Thank you for telling me where you are. It's just thrilling. It just makes me feel like I'm not alone here. I'm not alone, by the way. I have some corn. And one is out on the balcony, Zooming or FaceTiming with her friends, and the other is downstairs. Mom, I'm doing an edit. I can't come up. I'm like, okay, you could come and say hello to the people if you wanted, but no, they're hiding away. Okay, so call and check on your neighbors. Other things that you can do virtually to help and give back in the war. I want to say something about food. We want to honor all our food service providers, but did you know by actually not wasting food, you're protecting them because you're having to go to the grocery store less often. So, America throws away 72 billion pounds of food every year while people are starving around the world. And it's really that you use up everything, that yes, you eat, you find other things to, what I did with some leftover chicken the other day, by the way? I cubed it. It was already cooked. I cubed it, breaded it lightly, fried it again, and made a homemade orange, sauce, Asian sauce. So I made my own orange chicken, and it was just some chicken breast left over from something else, and it worked. So use up all your food. It protects our grocery store workers. I found this app. You guys are going to love this. It's called Be My Eye. And it was started in Denmark, of course, a few years ago, and it won lots of awards. It's kind of like Uber for the sighted. So if somebody is visually impaired and they need somebody to read a label for them or tell them if they're putting on their red top or their blue top, they just log onto the app. You get a ping and it says, do you want to help this person? And you just look in through and solve their problem. You're just their borrowed set of eyes for a few seconds. Is that cool? So I signed up for that. Unfortunately, at the Be My Eye, signed up, and only about 200,000 visually impaired. Is that my Carrington coming by? She's sneaking by. You can come say hi. This is my oldest daughter. She needs a phone charger, apparently. A phone charger is important than saying hi. Can you come say hi?
Hi, I'm on Zoom with a whole bunch of other people, so
okay.
I can't really engage.
We love you. We love you. We got people from all over.
Fantastic.
Oh my God.
We love to see you.
Somebody says they really love Mating Matters. Thank you. Brooke Peterson and I worked so hard on that podcast. And I listen to the credits on some of those, I won't name the company, podcasts that are so great and geeky and fun. And they have like 18 names as producers. But I'm really grateful to iHeartMedia because they certainly give us the studio and everything. And if you'd like to sponsor Mating Matters, we are looking for a title sponsor. So we have a lot of downloads. So come on. I don't know how to do a commercial in there. Okay, so what else did I find? I found this thing called Dorot, D-R-O-T. It's in New York City. You email volunteers@dorotusa.org. It's a New York City-based organization, more important now than ever, that connects you with an elderly person who lives alone for weekly phone chats and FaceTimes and Zoom. Is that cool? So signed up for that. Make a donation. If you can, please donate. You know what I did today? One of my favorite restaurants in my neighborhood is called Sosta Cucina. Chef Luca has been serving takeout at the front. And today I noticed in his email, he's serving a 5-course Italian Easter Sunday dinner with his grandmother's favorite recipe for dessert. And I was just like, I have to order the whole thing for all of us. So we're going to I actually emailed him and said, could he make it early? Because, my show's from 4 to 6. So he's going to make it at 1 o'clock for us so that we can have our Easter dinner in the afternoon. Anyway, so order from your local restaurant, take out, and everybody is being as careful as they can to make sure their products are safe and everybody's wearing masks and gloves. I want to say something else. If you are a leader in your company, in your corporation, in your organization, be a leader. Provide protective equipment. Allow people to work from home. I am so indebted to my employers at iHeartMedia because before we were even on official quarantine, they were so worried about our safety that they sent a tech to my house, and upstairs, the top of those stairs is my little office and my own radio studio. I don't know if I'll ever go back to work, by the way. No, I will. I miss the people. I'm an extrovert. I need to be around people. So I really feel indebted. And if you are a leader, please do that. Also, donate to the front lines. Call up your local, what is it? I'm telling cashier at my store. My mom's visiting at the bank. Favorite restaurant is also good. Also, apartment, urgent care facility, emergency room, and you can do a win-win by sending them a lunch for however many people they have there. Your local restaurant and business, and it helps feed them. I know a friend, Maria Jones Seacrest, are you watching? Her and her husband donated from their local restaurant as well. And finally, if you are lucky people who got COVID-19 and recovered and it was relatively mild, there's a very good chance that you carry the antibody now, and the Red Cross can really use your plasma. Did you know that your donation of plasma can actually save the lives of 3 people? Isn't that amazing? So if you're up for it, and they have a whole plasma donation thing that you can search for there, but it's really important. So there are lots of ways we can give back. Okay, and support local. I love your suggestions. Does anybody have any questions? And I will also read out some of your comments as well. Oh, I wanted to talk about journaling because somebody mentioned journaling. I wanted to tell you the science behind journaling and why it works. And I'm going to start doing it. 2 things I want to tell you that I start doing. Do you guys ever watch, our all day long at KFI, our big charity is the Pastathon. Is it in December? I think it's in Christmas, near Christmas, right? Yeah, because there's always a big Christmas tree there. Of course, it's early December. And Chef Bruno from the White House restaurant in Orange County is feeding so many homeless children and families living in hotels, trying to get up on their feet, etc. So when I was there last December, we hold it now because we got too big in the Crystal Cathedral. And I think the Crystal Cathedral is owned by the Catholics now. Anyway, they had a beautiful gift shop. And it was filled with, I bought some Christmas ornaments and some things. But my older daughter had been interested in Catholicism. I was raised Catholic, so that's not a surprise. And I thought, oh, well, for Christmas, I will buy her a rosary. And this is made, if you believe the packaging, from real olive wood from the Mediterranean that might have been something like Jesus. No, he didn't use rosaries. Rosaries came much later. I mean, the whole Bible came 70 years after he died. Anyway, you should listen to my Mating Matters podcast called The God Who Clubs, by the way. You'll get more science on this. However, I want to remind people that every single religion in the world involves some sort of chanting, some repetitive behavior. Nothing's wrong with Catholics, by the way. I love Catholics. I was raised Catholic. I went to Catholic school. Trust me. My Aunt Emily is Sister Emily. And she's my closest aunt. I love her. But I also believe that all paths lead to God. And right now, we need any path. But every religion in the world has some form of chanting. And the rosary is simply like a kind of meditation. Instead of saying the or whatever your mantra is, you're just repeating a prayer over and over, right? So every religion does it. That's what praying is. And it calms your neurosystem and it actually reduces anxiety. That's why religions have it. What else did I want to? Oh, journaling. Back to journaling. So here's the science of journaling. When you write down your feelings and what you're going through, and then later read it, the real benefit to journaling is rereading it. You are causing a little separation from your emotional experience, because who reads it, and especially if you read it out loud, all the better, your prefrontal cortex, right? So that helps you channel your feelings from your emotional ancient brain, that fight or flight response, and it gets it into your prefrontal cortex. So you create a little space, a little distance, and it's like you're watching a movie of your life, and it takes away the sting. It takes away some of the pain because now you're processing it with your prefrontal cortex by reading it over. So if you do journal, make sure that you read it over to yourself, but it can really work. I didn't want this to digress into a whole conversation about religion. I love you all, and I respect that everybody, you know what? I teach psychology of health counseling at Cal State Channel Islands, and we do know that religiosity tends to increase as people get older. I guess they're getting close to the front door of heaven. And the other thing that health psychologists have learned is that people who practice a religion, any religion, tend to live longer and they tend to have better health. Why is that? Well, first of all, most religions don't preach sex, drugs, and rock and roll. So people who follow religions tend to have good health habits. But the other piece is the community and we're social creatures. We're meant to be with each other, right? And then finally, all those beautiful theatrics that help calm us, the praying, the incense, the candles, the sitting together, all that is good for us. Now, I know that we can't get together in places of worship coming up, and we have some big holidays, of course. We have one going on right now and one on Sunday. So I know friends of mine have been doing it virtually, and there are services online. And if you find that helps you, then great. If you find it doesn't, then find something else. That's all I'm saying. I just think that this is a time when there is a collective anxiety, and we're all in this together, and we all need to find our way to help alleviate that anxiety. So any other ideas of what other people have been doing, helping out in their neighborhood? Oh, somebody said they auctioned on my free session that I give with the Chef Bruno Pastathon. Okay, I guess that's it. Anyway, I didn't want to be too long. It's my first time doing this, and I just wanted to say a few things. Like, I'm so glad you're hanging in there. I'm so happy that you're part of the KFI family, if you are. If not, you're part of the iHeart family watching on the app. And as you know, I am live every Sunday from 4 to 6 on KFI AM 640. And you can always find replays of my show on the iHeartRadio app. I think they call it Dr. Wendy on Demand or something. But as well, my podcast, Mating Matters, is evolutionary psychology. I look at human behaviors through a lens of evolutionary psychology. So thank you so much for being with me. It means a lot to have you here. And we're not alone, okay? We're going to get through this. I will see you on Sunday. Please come onto my social media and leave messages, and then I read them on the commercials, and then I don't feel so alone in my little office up there. Wait, is my other daughter coming up? There's Jones! She shaved her head in quarantine. Come say hello, baby. She doesn't look like a supermodel. Turn sideways. Let them see your profile. She's got the perfect head for it. She really does. She's my quiet, shy one. She's not going to talk. Anyway, I love you all. I will see you on Sunday. And every Wednesday, I'm going to be here at 6 o'clock. Let's call them a happy hour. Can we pour a drink next week? If you want to. You can. Wouldn't that be great? All right, let's do it. Okay, now to hit end. How do I do that? I know on the computer, I hit end by broadcast. Bye. Now, Instagram. How do I say goodbye to that? They didn't teach me that part. Here we go. It's Still ending. End broadcast. There it is.